Let me have your attention for a minute. This is something for the ladies. I'm chilling with the queens of the Stone Age.
Hello, and welcome to the world premiere of Queens of the Stone Age Season 2. We're mixing things up this season with a new format, a new set, and most importantly, new queens. I'm Mira, and I'll be your Season 2 host. Our resident queen for this episode is sex work activist, porn star, and professional blunt roller, the one and only lovely Janice Griffith.
Oh, Mira, thank you so much. What an introduction. I feel like I'm on a radio show with that,
Yeah, am I using, my announcer voice? It's
yeah,
pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to Queen Season 2. We decided to do a second season because our first season was a worldwide hit, and now we're totally famous for it.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Ooh. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Mira.
Anytime.
I'm so happy to be here. I love Mary Jane. Love to smoke weed with you.
Well, Mary Jane loves you, and Mary Jane loves smoking weed, so.
Hell yeah. And looks great. I love this new
Yeah.
setup. I feel like I'm on a better Letterman or something.
Ooh, better Letterman. I like that. It's kind of almost a rhyme. It's good.
Yeah.
So our topic this week, or today rather, is are old white people ruining weed for everybody?
Old white people are ruining everything for everyone,
That's
including them
absolutely
themselves.
true. Yeah, they really are just owning themselves every damn day. It's pretty
Every
crazy.
day.
Every day. So, confirmed old white people are ruining everything, especially weed.
Especially weed.
Now, weed is something that I think Janice and I have smoked for a long time and that we've loved for a long time.
I'm on my 10th year of smoking. Oh,
10?
11th, I think. Actually, I've been smoking weed since,
Wow.
Yeah, this was my 10-year weed anniversary.
Wow, congratulations. So how old were you when you first smoked weed?
I was 13 years old the first time I smoked weed, and I sought it out. I was like, me and my friend were like, we want to smoke weed. We're going to go find weed.
And you did find it, I assume?
Yes, it took a long journey, but we did find.
Where did you find it?
A drug dealer, a grown man who shouldn't have been interacting with 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before we came on set, but I think one of the main things about legal weed that I like personally is that I don't have to go to strange men's houses by myself and spend $40 on a dime bag. I just get to go into a nice storefront with pretty
Mira.
girls. Yeah, everyone, for sure. I'm pretty sure I bought a bag of oregano one time. Sucked.
I can't imagine the number of scenarios that I wouldn't have gotten myself in had weed been easily accessible to me as a teenager.
Yeah.
Just in a safety way where people are going to smoke weed no matter what.
Right.
You may as well give them a safe.
Right, because if you go to a dealer, you don't know what, they're selling weed likely, but they might be selling other things too. And, as much as I
remember when weed was laced?
Yeah, what the
Okay,
Okay, so here's my question about that. Was the weed really laced, or were we just young and freaking out because we got too high and so we were like, it's laced? I don't know.
Well, people were lacing weed.
Right.
I'm from New York, in a place where weed, I think, is recently medicinal.
Yeah.
But it was not legal growing up.
Right.
And you would put stuff in the blunt so you would get higher.
Right.
People were for sure smoking laced weed.
Well, were they lacing it to trick people? Oh, this is regular weed. Secretly, it's laced. I feel like a lot of people in my high school would right? I feel like a lot of people in my high school would be the weed was secretly laced. But the reality is, if you have laced weed, you're going to charge more for it and not give it to someone who doesn't want it.
That's no one is giving your children edibles for Halloween.
Exactly.
No one. Do you know how much edibles cost?
Yeah, I'm damn, if someone's going to give me an edible for Halloween for free, that is a very generous person.
Right?
That's
Thank
somebody
you.
who's really nice and deserves a thank you. Which kind of brings us into our topic for the day, which is, are old white people ruining weed for everybody? I think this is a prime example of some crazy shit that old white people think is the truth or pretend is the truth, but in reality is insane, of which there are many different topics like this. I think that a lot of people believe that if weed is legalized, teenagers will be smoking more of it. the reality is that they smoke less of it.
don't they? Because they're like, it's not cool. It's not rebellious to smoke weed anymore.
Also, they can't get into the dispensaries. Like a drug dealer will sell to anybody of any age. But if you're, 16 years old, you're just not going to be allowed into a dispensary. And most dealers have been put out of business by dispensaries. So, like, you don't have access.
I will say, I think that, it's so much better that the weed that kids are having access to, like whether it's their older siblings or their parents, something that they're like finding in their house. Because let's be real, like everyone stole alcohol from their parents. Yep. It's, kids are going to take weed from their parents too. And it's safer. Again, it's just
safer,
like, you're not.
You're not being sold something that's mysterious. It's like been
not
tested in a lab.
Anymore.
Yeah. And it like never should have been criminal in the first place. I think we can all pretty much agree. It's, with Canada having legalized weed yesterday.
You can smoke weed like outside
on
in
the
Canada.
street.
Anywhere you can smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
So I got this email yesterday from this woman who wanted to send one of our writers out to. If you're hearing a noise, it's grinding.
I feel like a French waiter. Like, would you like some more pepper? But I'm holding it away from the mic.
So if you hear a sound effect, that's the weed being ground for the blunt that Janice is rolling. I had this woman reach out and she was basically like, hey, we're having a party for legalization in Canada tomorrow. We'll fly one of your writers out if they want to cover it. But, it's very last minute. So none of my writers were really able to.
You should have asked me and I would have written about it.
I mean, true. But I ended up hitting up my friend who's like a dad. He's like a cool dad. Like he'll like go and like buy like a bunch of video game systems because like he likes video games. And then his kids are like, you're the best dad ever. And he's like just like so funny and like likable. And I was like, do you want to go to this like weed party in Canada where like Cypress Hill is playing? And he was like, yeah, like of course. Last night he was sending me all of these like selfies with like weed industry people. And I was like, who is that? And he's like, I have no idea. Like I just met them.
I heard one of the things in Canada, though, is that they have some strain regulation names.
Oh, yeah.
Like regulations on the names, so you can't like have any lifestyle adjectives or something?
At risk of talking too much, we have had so many issues with that with one of our weed brands in Canada. And it's like, I think everybody has, because it's basically like tobacco marketing at this point where, you can market it maybe in strip clubs or maybe in like, tobacco stores, but that's about it because it has to be people over 18. And in Canada, it's even stricter because like no celebrity can be associated with it.
Oh,
and
really?
Like, yeah, at all. Like you can't associate any celebrity with a weed brand, period. And
but
like
alcohol does that.
Yeah, well.
Do they do it in Canada?
Not in Canada. Yeah, not in Canada. They have like state regulated stores for alcohol in Canada.
How celebrity is celebrity? Like what is
like
there?
You cannot associate like a face with your weed brand. Like if you have 4,000 followers on Twitter and you have a weed brand, you can't like go and promote it yourself. Like it has to just be like a sterile regular ass brand. And it's like, and I think that like a lot of companies are just kind of like spending as much as they can before legalization hits because they're like still kind of able to do stuff. But I mean, like when they say, lifestyle, for example, they literally mean like a palm tree is too lifestyle.
No, like, I understand.
Yeah.
This is a prime example of rich old white people ruining things for everyone because, I don't believe that sort of marketing is going to matter. I never saw a cigarette commercial and was like, damn, smoking is cool.
Yeah, exactly. And if anything, like I saw those like Dare commercials that were like, don't smoke cigarettes. And I was like, damn. Smoking is cool. Yeah. Like, I can remember distinctly in elementary school.
Dare was like for fucking like nerds.
The Dare people came to my school and I remember them saying like, you'll do something like LSD and, it seems good, but then it takes 5 days off the end of your life. Like they had an exact number like that. And I remember even in elementary school making the calculation like, well, if
that
it's like
seems worth it.
Yeah, I was like, if it's a really good time, like why not, right? Like
doesn't
5
this,
days,
like,
no big deal.
Hamburger take like 10 off my life?
Exactly. And it's like if I'm gonna have like a, life-altering trip, then like why not? Like I won't even know the difference between 5 days. I'll be old as fuck. Like who cares? So that somewhat brings us into some of the topics that I want to cover today.
Let's go.
Okay, so first of all, I want to cover this article that was written by the terrible Maureen Dowd, who you might know as the person who arguably started the Iraq War.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not going to say definitively it was her fault, but I will say she had a pretty big role. Wow, yeah. If you guys are listening in the podcast format, you can't see this, but Janice is rolling like a Snoop Dogg sized blunt right now. Like she's literally rolling like a baseball bat of a blunt, and there is weed everywhere. It's pretty beautiful.
I'm so sorry.
She's a professional. She's the one who taught me how to roll blunts.
I did teach Mira how to roll blunts, in case anyone was wondering about her credentials.
So this article, which is just lovely. It's just such a joy to read this article.
Highly recommend.
It's called "Don't Harsh Our Mellow Dude" by Maureen Dowd. And I feel like I should just maybe go into it because I really won't be able to do it any justice by describing it. So
imagine like the person in your life who hates weed the most, like ate too much weed.
Exactly. Okay, so it starts out like this. The caramel chocolate flavored candy bar looked so innocent, like the Sky bars I used to love as a child. Sitting in my hotel room in Denver, I nibbled off the end, and then when nothing happened, nibbled some more.
That's your first mistake,
Mistake number one. Mistake number one.
Also, if I recall, it says literally all over the package of any edible, like, wait at least 2 hours before consuming more.
Yeah, like even like a child would know that like if you eat a weed brownie, it's not going to kick in within 2 minutes. Like, chill, bitch. Like, just wait a minute.
Yeah, so impatient to hate weed.
So, and she's buying this from a legal dispensary. So the chances of it having dosage on the package are very high. Like, it likely did have a dosage. And she was being dumb.
Regulations. Like, weed can only be so...
Exactly.
So strong. I'm making a crutch out of one of these. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah. No, do it. Okay, so... She said, I figured if I was reporting on the social revolution rocking Colorado in January, the giddy culmination of pot prohibition, I should try a taste of legal edible pot from a local shop. So this was written around the time that Colorado went legal, when everybody was having a fucking panic attack about like people being able to buy a plant.
So, legally. Shit that they were already doing. Exactly. She says, what could go wrong with a bite or two? Everything, as it turned out. I vividly remember that.
Not at first. For an hour, I felt nothing. I figured I'd order dinner from room service and return to my more mundane drugs of choice, Chardonnay and mediocre movies on demand. Okay, that sentence makes me want to kill myself. Like, I want to die. Like, I don't want to live in a world where somebody writes that sentence and it gets published in the New York Times.
Someone paid her to write that.
Yeah.
She got paid to get too high.
Like, it's... And like, as somebody who has gotten paid to get too high many times, this article is bullshit. Okay, so
Mira and I have hung out with the express intent of getting too high.
Oh my God, like that one time when Tyler was out of town?
Yeah.
So Janice came over to my house and...
While her fiance was out of town, the one who makes sure that we don't...
So my fiance doesn't smoke weed at all, but he... like does not care if I smoke the most weed in the world because I do, and it somehow works out. A lot of people don't know why. I don't really understand it either.
He's
but
perfect. Happy birthday to Tyler!
Happy birthday, Tyler! Yay!
I followed him on Instagram because I follow his mom, and she posted that it was his
She's
birthday.
my favorite person. Shout out to Pamela if you're listening right now. Yeah. So Janice came over. Tyler was out of town. And we were laying on the couch and we were like watching something, and then we were like, you know what? Like we should try to go to the hospital. Like we should try to get so high that we want to go to the emergency room. Like that was the expressed.
Isn't it a lighter?
Oh yeah, lighter. That's an important aspect. And maybe one of our lovely PAs or your big dog.
Yeah, I wonder.
Oh man, what did we get that day? Like what did we?
We got weed popcorn.
Yeah, weed popcorn. Weed potato chips.
Weed potato chips. We got like 4 flavors.
Yeah, we got cookies.
Was something else that was like sweet but different?
Was it like a cake maybe?
Perhaps.
They're definitely
like a brownie.
Yeah, was it?
Cookie brownies, I think.
Is that
like, you know those like
Wait, no, because I'm
brownies?
allergic to chocolate and I definitely ate all of it. So what was it? We definitely had cookies. I remember that. We had those cookies that were like 1,000 milligrams too.
Oh, yeah.
And we lighter. Hooray. And we just ate it and ate it and ate it. And then we were looking on Amazon for a movie and came across this movie where...
The Beautician and the Beast.
Exactly. And like Fran Drescher plays like a nanny who then turns into like the dictator of Russia. Like she like ends up like, I don't know, like seducing this guy via taking care of their children, and then ends up being like the dictator, and she like makes everybody Yeah, it's amazing. And she looks so good.
It's because she's not racist.
It's true. Not being racist is good for your skin.
It's the best skincare routine.
Yeah, it's the best skincare you could possibly have. That's probably why Maureen Dowd looks so fucked up, because she's too busy being racist.
Right? Like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Like, you should not look like
Exactly.
that. I'm
How
really
old is
sorry to
she?
shame people based on their appearance.
Okay, but if you're a racist, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm only doing it because they're racist.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would never shame someone on their appearance unless they're Sarah Huckabee Sanders, in which case they
Fuck you,
deserve
bitch.
it. And fuck you, bitch. And, like, you look like shit. Like,
Anyway, so I read that these topics are hilarious. Let me just start with that. I looked through this document and it was just like really absurd things that people actually said. I remember
yeah, old white people wild out. Like, they just go fucking nuts when it comes to weed. Like,
yeah,
calm
I asked
down.
Mira these things. So I would read the quote or article, and I had to text her like, "Wait, this happened? Like, this really happened?
Like,
What's
this is
the
actually for real?"
Read the Richard Nixon one.
Oh my God, the Richard Nixon one is really something. Okay, so the lovely Richard Nixon, who we all know and love, just kidding. This is a real actual quote that came from a recording. So he says, it's a funny thing. Every one of the bastards that are out for legalizing marijuana are Jewish. What the Christ is the matter with the Jews, Bob? What is the matter with them? I suppose it's because they are all psychiatrists. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. A whole lot. Like, first of all, where
does
did the,
that
like,
mean?
yeah, like, are Jews or not, it's not like as a Jew myself, I'm pretty
say?
sure it's not a Jewish stereotype that we want to legalize weed. And if it was, like,
Or
I'd be
be
down.
psychiatrists?
Yeah, or be psychiatrists. Like, what? Like, I don't understand, like, where any of those stereotypes are coming from. And where is the
Like, were you
connection?
high?
Yeah, like, where's the connection between being a psychiatrist and wanting to legalize weed, or being a Jew and being a psychiatrist? Like, none of it makes any sense.
And these are like, that was a president of the.
Like,
I mean,
an actual president.
when you think about it, the bar has always been pretty low.
Yeah, really fucking low. And especially, I mean, considering everything around Richard Nixon, I mean, I honestly feel like if a recording like this came out of our president, everyone would be like, yeah, no, the Jews definitely want to legalize marijuana. Like, that makes sense. Like,
Isn't weed already legal? Like, he's a visionary. He predicted it.
it's
That's
true.
what people-
I mean, frankly, as a Jew, I would love to take credit for the legalization of marijuana. And I mean, if that's what he's saying, then, like, fine, I'll take it. Yeah, we wanted to legalize marijuana because we rule and we're fun. We know how to have a good time.
Oh my God, what did Mitt Romney say?
Oh my God. Okay, so this one is a whole story, so I won't bother you guys with, like, reading the whole article. But essentially the issue here is that Mitt Romney lives in a small beach town. I can't remember where it is, but, like, one of those rich white people beach towns, like the Hamptons, but in Pennsylvania or something like that. And apparently his neighbors have been smoking weed on the beach like any normal person does who wants to have a nice time. And Mitt Romney repeatedly not only goes out of his house and is like, you guys need to stop smoking weed, but it's like leaving passive-aggressive notes on their doors and, like, all of this shit to the point where his neighbors are, like, going and, like, giving quotes to the New York Times about how much they hate having Mitt Romney as a neighbor. And, like, he keeps, like, hosting these awful Republicans, and everyone's like, I don't want these people in my neighborhood. Like, what the fuck? And there's press everywhere. And then, meanwhile, he's telling them you don't even get to smoke weed to, like, calm down about the fact that, like,
Mitt Romney is your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
Your vacation neighbor?
Yeah.
Even? Or the place, like, that he lives?
No, it's like a vacation neighbor.
Oh my God, that's worse.
Yeah, like, they're, like, on vacation and they want to smoke a joint. And then, like, imagine being, like, stoned and then Mitt Romney comes out of his house and is like, you need to stop smoking weed.
That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like,
like an
I
actual
got too
nightmare.
high. And,
Yeah.
like, that's, like, something that my mind made up.
Like, straight up, if that happened to me, I would think, like, oh, no,
I would punch
I'm
him in the
imagining
face
this.
because I would think it was a dream. I would think it would be like, oh, I'm having a hallucination or a fever dream.
I
should fight this demon of my mind.
I would honestly pay all the money currently in my bank account to see you punch Mitt Romney in the face. Like, I'm not kidding.
I got suspended on Twitter for saying I wanted to bare knuckle box Rashida Jones. But 6 months ago in January, that was not 6 months ago, however many months ago in
I have no
January.
idea how many months. It could be
9.
anywhere between 9 and 40.
So, I tweeted that I should have used my Jesus and Marrow rainbow to tell her to square the fuck up.
Yeah.
But that didn't get me suspended, so someone is a snitch. That it's an old white person, knowing my fan base.
Absolutely. Also, like, I've tweeted much worse shit than that before. Like,
That's
much
what I'm
worse.
saying.
And
You're still verified.
I'm still verified. I
You
don't know
say
what's
things
going
like
on.
"die faster, bitch."
No, it was die slow, bitch. So I tweeted out Barbara Bush die slow, bitch, before she died.
And then she died.
They found out that she's sick, and, you know, not that I feel like I have to justify myself, but I will say that she's terrible and deserved it, so whatever.
And
but
everyone dies. She was old.
And I kept getting all these people being like, you're so, like, unempathetic, like, how fucking dare you, like, you are, like, crazy liberal, and it's like, I wanted her to take her time dying. I didn't tell her to die now. I told her to wait a bit. And then the next day she died. So what the fuck?
Who else was the other one?
Oh my god, I don't even remember.
There was another, like...
There was another one that everyone got really mad about, but what was it?
I don't know. Point is, Mira says way worse shit on Twitter, and she never gets in trouble for
I got
it.
suspended once for a week, and I can't even remember what it was about, but it definitely wasn't even during a time when I was, like, telling Republicans to die or anything. Like, it was like...
I love free speech, just like, by the way.
And the funny thing is that I fucking tweeted that exact same thing about John McCain, and nobody cared. Like, nobody, like, was mad about it. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm not mad that John McCain died either, but, like, why are they so mad about Barbara Bush then?
She's a woman. You call yourself a feminist?
White women fucking...
Ruin everything.
Yeah, they ruin everything.
53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. Right?
53%? Is that...
That's something
fucked
like the
up.
number. Tara, check. Fact check me right now.
We're getting a fact check. Please hold.
But yeah, no, white women continue to perpetuate this horrible, horrible thing that enslaves that 53?
53%.
53%
Confirmed.
of white women that voted for Donald Trump.
Did I ever tell you about the Taylor Swift concert that I went to?
Did you see Taylor Swift's political post on Instagram that broke the Tennessee voter registration website for a little while?
It's totally insane. But, like, her concerts are full of two types of people. One are children, actual children, who are, like, 6 years old and cute because they're babies, and, like, older white Trump supporters. And I guess, like, teenage girls. It was the fucking scariest place I've ever been in my life. I've never felt so terrified. I went to, like, 4 Rage Against the Machine concerts, and I've never been so scared as I was at this Taylor Swift concert. Like, straight up, the men's bathrooms were full of blonde women. Like, there were no men. And, like, men would look in there and be like, nope, and, like, walk away, because it was too fucking scary. It was madness. And, like, I saw these teen girls who, like, couldn't, like, get their tickets because they were, like, online and there was no cell service. And they were, like, berating their friend about it to the point where their friend was sobbing. And they were like, this is my favorite artist. Like, how fucking dare you? You're going to make me miss the one thing that I was looking forward to in my life. And she was, like, tears welling. And we were having the same problem. And we got the tickets in, like, 2 minutes. It was, like, not a big deal. These women, like, this is how Trump got elected. Because these women are fucking terrifying.
This is the day that Trump finally became president. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Can
man.
I see that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Here. I'm gonna bust through some of them.
Oh, she's going through my doc. You guys, stay tuned. She's going through the doc. Prepare yourself.
Jeff Sessions thought the KKK was okay till he found out they smoked weed.
That's a literal quote. They were like, Jeff Sessions, how do you feel about the KKK? And he was like, I thought they were all right until I found out they smoked weed. Also, does the KKK smoke weed? I feel like that's not correct.
They're not cool enough to smoke weed.
Like, there's
Just
no
kidding.
way.
All kinds of mediocre people smoke pot now, too.
That's so true. That's what's so awful about it. It's like, weed used to be a thing that was fun and nice for us, and now the old white people do it, so what the fuck do we have?
Debunking weed myths. Weed is a gateway drug.
And?
To what?
To, like,
I'm gonna
Taco
smoke
Bell?
weed and be like, I absolutely need cocaine now. Like, I absolutely need to rail a fucking line
Like,
because I smoked pot once.
I gotta shoot up heroin right this second, you
Because
guys.
I smoked pot.
I smoked pot once, and now I'm instantly a heroin addict.
Yeah, like, that's how it happens. Actually, more often than not, my friends, like, who go out drinking a lot will be like, yeah, I only do coke like to, sober up at the end of the night. I'm like,
what the fuck? Like, that's literally the opposite of sobering up. I don't know if you know what sobering up means, but...
Weed makes you lazy. Honestly, this might be true, but everyone works too much anyways. It's probably healthy to be lazy sometimes.
I feel like so often people are like, well, weed just makes me tired. Like, what the fuck is wrong with being tired? Like, you work too hard anyways. Take a fucking nap.
And also, when I'm really anxious, like, I got here and I was, like, really worked up just because I had to cross the street, and it was a whole thing with my dog.
You know, when you have to cross the street.
Listen. There was no crosswalk, and I have a dog.
It was fucked up.
Mira,
There was like a lot of lanes of traffic.
You watched it happen. Don't diminish my experience this way. Anyway, I got here and I was in a super bad mood, and I smoked, and I was like grumpy, and I was like ready to like fall asleep, and I smoked weed, and I was good.
Yeah, it fixes you. Like, sometimes I'll come home from work and I'll just like immediately be like, Tyler, everything is terrible. I hate everything. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you should really smoke some weed, honey. Like, why don't you, like, do you want me to grab your bong for you? Like, it's going to be okay. And then everything's better.
Hit the bong.
Oh, the bong. True. Okay, we're about to hit this bong.
I'll read another weed myth while you do
hit
it.
The bong, you read the myth.
I'm the host now.
Welcome to our new host, Janice. This is Queen Season 2.
It makes you paranoid. That's because you're doing it wrong. Like... I've like gotten edible high to where I was paranoid, but I think I'm just paranoid because the world is bad. Also, are we paranoid? Like, when I'm scared that a man is gonna break into my house and kill me, is that paranoia or
is it
mild
a justified?
reality?
Yeah, is it a justified fear? Like, I mean, when I smoke weed, it's like, okay,
at least I'm high now.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything sucks, but at least I'm high now.
It's like I'm anxious every day of my life, nonstop. And then it's like I smoke weed, it's like a little different. It's like a little nicer. You're still just as anxious, but like it's
you
fine.
like stuff more.
Yeah, like maybe it's not the weed that's making you paranoid. And also, I feel like you get past it. Like I feel like after a while, like I've been smoking weed for so long that I can smoke it and it's like fine. And it used to be that I would get anxious occasionally, but like I feel like I like leveled up.
I find that a lot of people are like, it makes me think too much and I get really introspective and I'm like,
that's nice.
I think I'm wondering if just like a lot of people don't think about themselves too much.
Right.
And when they smoke, they finally like take a second and do, and they're like, I don't like this shit. That's like, I don't remember my dreams. And I'm like, I wonder if that's for the best. Is my mind protecting me? What's in there?
I mean,
I don't know.
I remember my dreams like every night. And like every night I'm like so sweaty and anxious about it. I'm like, that was a terrible dream. Why do I remember that? Like, why isn't my mind just protecting me from that?
I literally just go to sleep and then I wake up. Every night.
This is so weird. I feel like I've had this conversation so many times where like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I always remember my dreams. And people are like, no, that's not normal.
What about the children? Kids are naturally stoned all the time anyways. Just by way of not having been totally disillusioned by the world yet. When adults smoke, we're just trying to get on their level. That is so true.
Right?
That's like
have you ever hung out with a baby when you were really stoned? You're like, oh, I get it.
The best babysitter ever.
It's amazing. You're like, yeah, I'll play peekaboo for fucking 2 hours. That's so fun. Like, I'm down.
Like, you're really seeing things. That's what I mean about, and the thing is, weed just isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Like, I don't really like drinking that much all the time. I'll still partake occasionally. But when we have things like Mary Jane or like cannabis circles or like lounges or events, like we're not trying to be like, we're taking over, everyone should smoke pot. It's like,
yeah,
we just want to like have our space to do our thing. And like, you don't have to smoke weed.
Exactly.
Just like be okay with it, because a lot of these ideas that you have are not true. They've been debunked by science, and
they're just factually incorrect.
Yeah, like you're just read a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the internet, the news.
Right.
Ask a doctor.
Yeah, and it's like the reality of people who are smoking weed is that they like their weed. Why would I force my weed onto somebody who doesn't like it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I want my weed.
Shout out to old white people who are making weed way cooler. Oh, I added the way, but
no, it's
it was
better
a Freudian
though.
slip.
Yeah, no, you're a good editor.
Willie Nelson.
Shout out Willie Nelson.
Champion of labor issues, especially among farmers.
And truck
so
drivers.
Much weed that even Snoop is scared of him.
That's a true story. That's an article that you can look up on Mary Jane.
I challenge Willie Nelson to a smoke off.
Honestly, same though. I feel like we could do it. Like, I don't know if like...
Please.
Willie Nelson, if you're watching this. I mean, I've like... It sounds like the people who came out of his trailer.
Half of these other white people are. Oh, I know who Michael Phelps is.
Oh yeah, he's fine. It sucks that he got banned from the Olympics for smoking a bong. He's still a good Olympian.
Smoking weed is fine.
It's literally fine. Like there's
also,
literally
like,
nothing wrong with it.
If you're gonna test for drugs, I need you to be testing people's hair, and like every 2 days. That way you can get all the coke and amphetamines and other things that are out of your system in 2 days. It's
and
really
also
unfair to only test for things that like stay
that
in your
are
system that long.
Exactly. And it's like now there's so many like, DUI concerns and whatnot. And it's like you cannot factually say that anybody who has weed in their system while they're driving is high. There's just zero. You cannot say that.
That's
like
I
sense.
think I like emit a weed smell after a while.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like Pigpen from Peanuts, but with weed. Like it's just there's always like a cloud of it around me.
Like for real though.
Well, I think on that note, we are running out of time.
Can I make a point?
Yes, please. Do it.
Too many
Closing
people of
point. Here we
color,
go.
especially Black people, are in prison for minor weed offenses, and old white people are seriously doing everyone a horrible, horrible wrong by not making that a priority in everything we do for like enjoying cannabis. If we really want to do things like, if we want weed to be right, we have to right all of the wrongs.
Yeah, minority inclusion in the cannabis industry, people. And we need it to come from the top. We need lawmakers to make laws that force people to include minorities in the cannabis industry and formerly incarcerated ones specifically.
Like there need to be more or less regulations on who's allowed to, have certain businesses or like, what do they call it? Gainful employment.
God.
Like when you have to get like a good job after you get out of prison or whatever.
Bullshit. It's like complete bullshit. Like cannabis is like an entirely viable industry. It is like there are jobs for every kind of person, skilled, unskilled, like creative, not creative. Like everybody can have a place in this industry. And so we need there to be incentives for those people to join the industry, whether that's like...
Also just fucking let them out of jail.
Yeah, let them the fuck out of jail.
Also just dismantle the entire prison system.
That's true. That's true. And like abolish borders, abolish police, abolish ICE.
Every border implies the violence of its maintenance.
Shout out Aisha and Cultes, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Well, Janice, you were lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. And stay tuned for next week's episode. Season 2 is on its way. Woo!
I'm chilling with the queens of the Stone Age.